Do you call yourself a procrastinator? Or maybe do you say to yourself that you're just lazy? What is it that is causing you to want to do something and yet not do it at all? Let's talk about it. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why you might be a procrastinator, or let's just call it, without putting too many labels on you, why do you procrastinate? And then number one thing I want you to take from this video is that it is not because you are lazy. I don't believe in lazy. I do understand fear. My name is Einav Avni. I am a confidence and empowerment catalyst, and I work mainly with people who feel paralyzed by the feeling of not good enough, by showing them, introducing them to the negative self-talk, the limiting beliefs, and everything that is holding them back from having an incredible life that is just in a hand reach. So let's talk about procrastination. The first reason why you might be procrastinating is because of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being ridiculed, fear of success. You see, say for example, I want to write a book. And I'm very excited about the book. I have good ideas and I'm feeling it, you know. I really want to write this book and I've always dreamed of being an author, and I have a huge plan of everything that I want to do. But there is something that is holding me back, and that is the fear of what might happen when that book is out there. So people might reject it. Maybe people will say, you know, call me out and say I'm an imposter. Maybe people will tell me, you know, I have no idea what I'm writing, or that maybe my writing style is awful, right? So all of a sudden, it's no longer about writing a book. It's more about what will happen once it's out there in the open for people to, you know, to feel free to judge. Now, even more importantly is the fear of success, because what would that mean about me if I'm successful? If the book is successful, will I have to go into interviews? Will I have to be more out there in the media? What does it mean about me if I have to be in the limelight? It means I have to change all of my self-image. I need to become this successful author. Maybe I'm not ready for that. So do you see that if I want something very badly, but I have very big fears that are holding me back, I will create this resistance that will result in me procrastinating. It's not that I'm lazy. I'm not lazy, but I am procrastinating because there is something that is bigger than what it is. You know, it's about fears that I'm not necessarily aware of. So that was number one of why we procrastinate. Number two is when we think, okay, I want to write a book, and it feels huge. And all of a sudden, I don't know what it is that I need to get going with, how to start, because all I see is the book in its entirety, as if I already need to complete it tomorrow. Actually, I don't, right? So basically, if I need to do something, I need to learn to chunk it down. This is going to be one of the solutions that I will introduce later on. But one of the reasons, as I say, is when we look at something and it's so big, it's so scary, we have no idea where to get started. And in our mind, we just keep thinking, okay, so should I start here? Should I do this? Should I do that? But instead of looking at each point to itself, we look at it at its entirety, which means that we become very, very overwhelmed. And so we put it aside. We say, okay, I'll come back to it later. I'll clean the house, I'll clean the oven, I'll go for a run, I'll do all of these things, just not to deal with whatever it is that is standing in our way. So that was reason two. The third reason is about commitment. This is when I want to do something, but I haven't actually committed to myself that I really want to do it, or that I've actually mapped out all the possibilities and opportunities, or whatever it is that I need to do in order to feel confident enough that I really want to do it. And I'll give you an example of a job opportunity that just came to me the other day. It is about a full-time coaching opportunity. And then I have to think, do I want to do that? The opportunity on the face of it looks perfect. You know, clients are coming to me. I don't need to chase or find or, you know, put myself out there to find clients. It's good money. It's consistent money. It's everything that is not being an entrepreneur, which is what I am at the moment. So now it's about the questions. Okay, so say I'm dedicating 37 hours of my week to this full-time job. What about my career that I've developed so far? My clients, my flexibilities, my possibilities of, creating my own day. So here is another reason why I might procrastinate, is basically putting off having to make a decision because I haven't done the research. I didn't look into all of the details, and I haven't mapped out what might be a good thing about it, what might be a not so good thing about it. But in any case, this is another reason why one might procrastinate when we haven't made the commitment. So what do we do about it? Let's go back and let's see. So the first thing about procrastination we mentioned was about fears. It's the fear of what will happen when I've done this. A lot of the time, if it's, say, not a book, but maybe a deliverable that you have to do, or an essay or something like that, the bit that is holding you back is actually your own image of what it is that you want to do. You want it to be perfect. You want it to be the best work that you've ever done. You want it so that whoever is reading it or viewing it or receiving the deliverable is going to be really impressed. Pay attention to where your focus is. Your focus is not on the here and the now. Your focus is on what will happen when it's done. This is focus on in the future. We don't know about the future. We haven't arrived there yet. But where we are right now is right here in the present. So let's start by looking at things that you can already do right now. So say, for example, it's a presentation. So it's about being prepared, right? When you have the knowledge, when you have the understanding of what it is that you are dealing with, then all of a sudden you can look at the content and say, okay, how do I divide it? How do I organize it? How am I going to analyze it? You're not thinking about what they will say. You're thinking, what do I have to deal with right now? What are the known parameters? And slowly, slowly, you are creating a picture. And the only thing that you're now asking yourself is not what will happen if they will like it or they will reject it, or, if it's not good enough, I might lose my job, which is all external in the future kind of influence. You're thinking to yourself, what do I know? What am I not sure about? What other research can I do? Who can I go and talk to clarify some things? So all of a sudden you're dealing with whatever it is at the moment that is holding you back, the things that you are not actually certain about, the things that are making you feel uncertain, insecure, imposter, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so when you have number one procrastination reason is fear, pay attention to the focus. Is it out there? Or if it is, let's bring it right here to now. What can I do already? And that brings us to the next thing, the next reason that we said about procrastination. It's when we become overwhelmed because something is just too big. So let's again bring it to here, to right here, right now, and let's chunk it down. What is the first thing that I can already do? Not that I will write the whole book in 2 days, but let's see what about now. Maybe it's a list of bullet points, list of the chapters. Maybe it's an idea of who is my, who do I want to read the book? What are the outcomes I want them to read, right? So whatever it is, I can chunk it down, and I can chunk it down to such small bits that I can say, actually, I'm not too scared about that because I can already do it. So all of a sudden, from thinking I have to eat the whole, elephant in one go, I can just start by smaller chunks. And that also helps us to come into the here and the now and not worry about the future. It's not the whole thing. It's not about what people will say. It's about what can I just do right now. And the third thing about procrastination that we said was about commitment. And this is maybe a slightly easier one, although you, of course, bring into it the decision-making, but you have a situation, something that you need to decide, do I do it or not? And so you start thinking, you are creating that self-recognition, the self-image that it basically says, what will it be like if I was in this instance, if this thing happened? Now, it's important to remember that we don't want to believe that we have control over any outcomes. So I don't want you to sit down and think, for example, with this job offer that I just told you about, I don't want to be sitting here and think, okay, so what will happen in this case, in this case, in this case? I don't want to go through all of, worst case scenarios or best case scenarios and see if I can apply solutions. That's being too rigid. That's believing that actually I can control any of that. and we can't. We're not God, you know, we don't have the powers. But what we do have is trust. And we can say, okay, there is a reason why this is here. You know, this opportunity came into my life for a reason. It might be that I need to take it, and it might be that I not, you know, that I don't need to take it. So I can think, okay, so what does it mean? What would that mean if I take a job now for 37 hours a week, being a one-on-one coach, for example? Is that what I want? Does that fit in the bigger scheme of things? Because for me, although I do love one-on-one coaching and group coaching, and it's something, two things I will continue to do forever, I'm actually more into speaking and writing right now, right? So now we have to, is an invitation to dissect what is going on, where is my feeling, where is the reflection, what do I really want to do? And that will help me to make a very clear decision. And when I feel that I'm ready, I will be able to say yes or say no. So it's procrastination, not because I'm lazy. It's not like I'm, you know, sitting on the sofa thinking I just don't feel like going there. It's again some fears, because we have the fear of thinking, you know, maybe I'm going to make the wrong decision. But trust that whatever it is that you choose to do, it is going to be the right thing for you, either because you get exactly what you wanted or because you get the best lesson. And this is what it's all about. Life is all about lessons. So I hope you found this video helpful. I really, really hope, even if it's just the one thing that you take from it, is that you are not lazy. Procrastination is fear of something, fear of failure, fear of success, not having the right commitment, or being overwhelmed that whatever it is ahead of you is just too big. So chunk it down, find out what you need to do right here, right now, and just get going, one foot after the next. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, any comments, please get in touch either here or privately. And I'll see you very soon. All the best.